There was something else I was going to talk about, but I can't remember it. But it's always the idea that creates the platform of the foundation to stand, for that platform to stand on and for it to grow roots. And it's not just about building the field of dreams, but it's the roots beyond that, so that the foundation becomes stable, the stability. There was something I was going to talk about, and I can't remember to talk about it. It slips my mind. I have times where I'll be talking to you and I forgot what I'm talking about. And it's a huge problem. It's not because of weed smoking. It's most difficult when I don't have any weed to smoke. Um, it was really important, but for some reason, either the devil doesn't want me to remember it or God doesn't want me to remember it. Based off of your ideology, not mine. My ideology is I just forgot something really important, and this is devastating, and I hope to remember it. And so, if there's a God, I would be praying to God right now that He reinforms me with that information. If not, then I must have been talked to by the devil. But it's just the ideology of humanity is crazy. Okay, you eventually run into links where your conflictions result into agreeances. Like me and you, we might fucking conflict so far that we agree to fight. That's when shit hits the fan. That's worst case scenario. We don't want that to happen, but if it happens, there's no problem taking care of it. Like, we don't like to fight because we fight so much that it's like, God damn it, we gotta do this again today, but like for real. So, like my barrack station thing that I talked about with like the pull out, the beds that are sitting there like couches, and they fit so many different people. I could fit 100 people in one room, and then switch out those 100 different beds with 3 people, so it's 300 people within a 10 by foot room, 10 by 10 by foot room. There's enough walking space and stuff like that for you to still have a stage and live a good life. And with the barracks, you have so many different people that are being able to involve so much extra money that we come into that equality sense of whatever. I mean, we start off with so much money, we might end up with so much money, but some people like to be greedy and some don't. But we live in a sense where it's like, why be so greedy when I don't really need that much money, bro? Like, dude, I'm doing like great. So how do we get to the rest of the world to that point? I don't know. And this has no pertaining topic to what I was thinking about, but I took a piss and I forgot. It's almost like I pissed out my memory. So, like, it wraps around conflict. You're never going to get rid of conflict, and I just basically explained that in the first place. Now, I don't want conflict, but if there's conflict, I want more conflict than the conflict of anti-self-defense. So, like, okay, you might have the right to defend yourself, but you also have the right to assault somebody when you're feeling threatened. Just like within the COVID sense, if somebody's coming in with 6 feet with you and you can't back up, you have the right to assault that person. That's a true belief system. We need to get off of that false ass illusion of what's actually lawful and what's constitutional. And it's very difficult to understand. It's hard to really understand, because can we really punish these people? Because they both could have been wrong, but the illusion of where their mind is at, they're right. And they're like, when we point it out to them and then they realize, oh, now I get it, we kind of brainwashed them. Because they brainwashed us first for us to be able to make that correlation. And this is just thoughts off the top of my brain right now because I still can't remember what I wanted to tell you, but it wraps around that conflict issue. We're going to have conflict, and I don't want it to have conflict. So I want really decent people. Like, okay, I don't have a problem with people that are on drugs. So if we have a whole bunch of people that are on marijuana, then I would like to dedicate that motel to like marijuana. If we got a whole bunch of people that are into like live playing music, that's what I want that motel to be, is more live playing music. I want people to have the freedom to be able to be where they're at, but also away from what they don't want to be within contact of. Because me, as a transgender, I don't fit into the gay category. That's why they label it LGBT. It's lesbian, bi, gay, and then transsexual. Because a lot of us like females, but there aren't a lot of females that like us. So it's difficult. Like, it makes no sense to change us, because then we're going to find a transgender in Iran that causes gayness. And gayness is just a created term. Look at me. I hate gays, but I'm in basically the gay community. But just like black people hate black people, they're in the black community. Whoever you're surrounded by is who you're going to end up having hatred towards. Because if you spent your 100% of the time around everybody you knew, 75% of the time that you're with them, you're going to be annoyed. You only like about 10% of that person. That's the only time you need to be spending with that person. It's like when you have a wife. I've explained this before. I would love to be able to spend 100% of my time with my wife where we totally connect. And it's not opposites attract type situation, but we totally connect. Like, we have no problem following with each other's hobbies and each other's friends, and nothing gets in the way. But in all reality, your relationships work on a 10% basis. 90% of her time is her time, and that's what she wants to do. But then she wants you to enjoy her time with her because she wants to spend more than 10% of the time with you. Well, then we need to take that 10% of time enjoying what we do and take that 10% and stretch it into 50%. So if our enjoyment is playing video games together, rather than doing it for an hour out of the day, we do it for 5 hours out of the day. We can't just throw in a new hobby. We could try new hobbies, and that would be fun because we probably both would hate them at the same time, which was like, fuck, that was like fun, but it wasn't fun at all because that was devastation at its finest, you know? But just both you realizing that you fail makes you smarter. And it's that sense of feeling stupid is what makes you smart. And America has been very inclined to make you think that when you're stupid or feel stupid, that you are stupid. If you feel stupid, you've learned your mistake, therefore you're smarter. Your IQ has then increased. It's what we call oxymoronic, waking up dead. You know, that's kind of impossible. You know, I went down to go up. That sounds oxymoronic, but when you're in space, that's true.